Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you so much for checking out another brand new episode of the show. Today's features Amber Klear. Had a great time hanging out with Amber, talking about some of her comedy, talking about her work on the Polar Express, and all sorts of stuff. We had enjoyed some gelato. It was a great day. We had a lot of fun recording this one of our Gaslight, so big thanks to them for letting us hang out and record this one. Stop in and visit them. Grab some tacos from Rockstar Taco Shack while you're over there, and have a great time at Gaslight. Do want to remind you, as always, Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Roughneck Beard Company, an American Rambler, located here in St. Louis, Missouri, over in the Maplewood area. Stop in and visit them, or shop online at roughneckbeardcompany.com today. Growing out a big old beard is a surefire way to keep you warm this winter, and there's no better way to grow it out than with Roughneck Beard Company's full line of beard grooming products. Beat the itch, soften, and set the stage for a faster and fuller growth. And you can do it all while saving 15% by using my code RPP15 at checkout. Again, find their full listing of products on roughneckbeardcompany.com. You can find your beard oils, beard balms, their junk powder, combs, everything's all sorts of different scents, whatever you're into. They've probably got the perfect one for you. So check it all out, roughneckbeardcompany.com today. Also, big thanks to my friends at Friendship Brewing Company here in Wentzville, Missouri. Swing in and visit them for all your craft beer needs. You can grab a delicious sandwich while you're there for some lunch or dinner. Hang out on their big old patio. It's always a lot of fun at Friendship Brewing Company. And I've talked about it a bunch on here, but I think it's really cool what they've been doing to support the community, including they launched a beer in honor of our fallen soldier, Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. You can go out there and buy that beer and support his foundation. All proceeds from that beer go directly to support that foundation. So, it's a beautiful thing they're doing to support, such a terrible situation. So get out and visit Friendship Brewing Company, again, here in Wentzville, Missouri. Find them more information at friendshipbrewingcompany.com. And if you need me, of course, you can always find me at rockpaperpodcast.com. Hit me up on the socials. Feel free to email me at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. And with all that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode with Amber Klear.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
This is Amber Klear, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today at Gaslight over here on the hill with Amber Klear. Welcome to the show.
I'm excited. I like this table. I like you. I like this room.
Yep.
We were just talking. I feel like this is a haunted room. I just know it. I'm excited. I want to touch things.
Well,
Things are getting inappropriate real quick. Real quick.
All right. Well, we've already been having a fun day. We kind of went on an adventure. We got some gelato, And
Showed you a fountain,
Yeah.
a beautiful fountain to take your wife to in the summer.
yeah,
Beautiful fountain.
Can't wait to go back. But yeah, it's a kind of a snowy day here in St. Louis, and I figured what better way to, let's just do some podcasting and hang out with Amber and get to know some of your story and talk about what you've been up to. I don't know. I feel like we kind of been running in a similar circle for a long time now.
For so long, yeah.
But we haven't really, this is like our first like proper hanging out. I feel like we
met at a concert. I was literally the very last person to get a ticket to the Zach Bryan concert at the pageant. And I saw you hanging outside and I was like, I know you. Right. And you were like, no, you don't. And you were like, what's my favorite color? And I was like, we're friends on the internet. Now we're friends in real life. It's great. Like I'm drawing dicks in the snow out in front, like showing it. It's perfect. Yeah.
I
have pictures on my Facebook. If you guys are listening, I'll upload the pictures of the snow dicks. Can I say snow dicks?
It's the internet. Okay. You can say whatever you want.
I don't know if you have like a rating. Like you should always tell me if you have a rating because
we usually play this at the preschool, so we'll
people don't know, but like I am good with kids. Like I used to do.
Kids love snow dicks.
Perfect. But I used to do children's comedy at the St. Louis Zoo. Sure. Like I worked at the St. Louis Zoo, had a microphone and costumes, and and I even have a background in. Like I've worked at a special ed school. I worked in alcohol and drug rehab for 12 to 21-year-olds. I've worked with kids a lot, and people are always shocked to find that out. They're like, "You've worked with children?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
All right.
Yeah, like literally the same week that I did, like I left the St. Louis Zoo and went, like I didn't leave, but like I was like, "Hey, I have to go for a while." And then I immediately went to Sturgis, and it was like 2 speeds. Like I'm either super adult or I'm like child friendly.
Right.
There's no in between. Yeah.
Right.
So, but it's fun, like the juxtaposition. And I worked, I don't know if you know this, over this winter, like I hate holidays. And I know you had questions. I'm just getting off topic. But over the winter, like I hate holidays, and like I was trying to like combat my like holiday stress and like holiday depression, because like with COVID, shows are weird. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to work for the Polar Express as a character. And so I got to do so much fun stuff on this train, and like you just run up and down this train just like talking to people, and then like dance and fall.
Right.
And when I'm working with kids, I use an accent though, so that I don't accidentally say a bad word, because my vernacular is peppered with naughty words. So I'm like, I'm going to tell you the Christmas story. Like I have this whole accent that I can use, and I can use it so well that the people on the train, they were like, where are you from? And I'm like, the country above Russia? That's where I'm from. It's the North Pole, motherfuckers. It's the North Pole. The country above Russia is the North Pole. So kids would be like, I love her. I love her. And I was like, I love you too, child. Yeah, I had so much fun on the Polar Express. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to like say that I worked on the Polar Express, but I did.
Yeah.
It was a blast. Like I would tell people, we would pass by the river, and I'd be like, okay, everybody, look out the window right now. You will see the world's biggest melted snowman. His name was Mr. Sippy. Like, I just had all these fun things. We'd go by the arch, and people were like, oh, is that the arch? Like, in my head, I wanted to be like, duh. But in my mouth said, oh, that's not the arch. I'll tell you what that is. What happened is McDonald's was going to build a very big store, okay? We were going to be the gateway to the Big Mac, okay? But they ran out of money. They didn't finish. They get half of sign done. They didn't paint it. So now we are just the gateway to the West. Like, I had so much fun. Like, I'm trying to think, like, of all the other funny, like, it just depended on the people. Like, I would just have fun with the people. And it was just like, I'd make half the train say, like, I would yell, north, and they'd have to yell pole. And then I would, like, pick on somebody and be like, oh, you're very good with the pole. Or I would tell people like, we have a world famous, I have just been informed, we have a world famous ballerina on this train right now. And then I'd go like usually I'd pick a dad, because dads are safe and dads are kind of party poopers. So I'd like pick a dad that I could like get involved, but I'd be like, okay, world famous ballerina on this train, but this ballerina is kind of shy, okay? So we have to really cheer him on and get him going to make this world famous ballerina dance. Okay, everybody, let's give it up for. And then I would lean over to the random person and be like, what's your name? And if they didn't tell me, I would just be like, Leonard! Everybody give it up for Leonard! And I did so many trains, and like I didn't have, like I had a couple people resistant, but everybody got up, and I'd be like, twinkle, twinkle, twinkle toes, and then I would run to the other end of the train, and I would literally be like, after they did their twinkle, I'd be like, I'd get a knee, and I'd hold up my hands, like, okay, I catch you, run to me, I catch you, and as soon as they started running to me, I would take off running the other direction, be like, somebody call the police, a man is chasing me, and I would run through the train. And I just had so much fun. Like, I would also tell people, like, what sound do a train make? And everybody goes, choo choo. But I was like, okay, but listen, sometimes the train goes toot toot. I would make all of them go, okay, on the count of 3, let me hear your best toot. And then I wouldn't do 1 or 2, I'd just go 3. And like, everybody would like say it, but a couple people wouldn't. So whoever didn't talk, I would hold my hand above them and say, yes, some people are very good at tooting, and some people are silent tooters. I had so much fun. Like it was, and the kids loved it, and the parents loved it, and like, yeah, I really loved it. It was a good time. And then I would literally get off work after like 4 trains, and I'd immediately go run do like an adult comedy show, and I would still be in my outfit. It was awesome. Like, and then sometimes once my accent gets going, I can't get rid of it. So I had to do an entire show of my jokes in this accent. And I was like, okay, guys, I know what happened was I can't stop talking like this. So if I revert back, I'm sorry, okay? Like, I just couldn't stop. Like, I don't know what happened. Yeah. So it was a good time. Yeah. How was your Christmas?
That sounds like a ton of fun. Though.
Oh, my God. It was so much fun. Everybody was sticky. It was great.
Yeah. It would be nice if you could do something like that, year round instead of just the holiday. But
I only really need to do it during the holidays because like holidays I normally like I love Christmas lights and I love like other stuff, but like I don't really have a family, so like, and I feel weird, like I love going to my friends' house and like I know that they love me, but it's like it feels weird during Christmas because it's like they all have kids now and stuff, and I know that they need to experience that like as a family unit, and I don't want them to invite me over because they like feel sorry for me. Like, so I went hiking on Christmas Day with a really good person. We just went hiking, and then he like went to his family stuff, and I went home and like crashed because he is very fit and I am very not. I mean, I love hiking, but like this guy can march, and I'm over here like, let me take a picture. Take a picture. Really, I'm trying to catch my fucking breath. I mean, no, I really do love photography, but sometimes I know he's like, he wants to go, like, I've treadmill walked with him. He wants to go, like, he's at, like, a 3.5 mile pace, and I'm at a 2.5 mile pace. And so, like, he thankfully meets me in the middle, but I do appreciate that, but I do think it's funny that, like, every 5 seconds I'm like, squirrel, gotta take a picture. So, and yeah.
Yeah, holidays are weird. It's especially Christmas and stuff for a lot of people are it's a gloomy time of year. It can
dark. Remind people that they're lonely or family stress. Like no matter how much you love your family,
for sure,
like holidays can still bring on some freaking stress. So, yeah.
I don't know. I lost my mother in December 3rd, so it's like...
And that makes every holiday season 10 times harder.
Yeah, so then every year I think about that time of year. It's like, so I mean, it's only been 2, but still, like, it's just like those memories start coming back. And
absolutely.
Like, so it's like... it's just...
You probably dread Thanksgiving because it's like, oh, you know that you know the date is coming and she's not going to be there for Thanksgiving, and then the date comes and you're like, oh, it's a sad date. And then Christmas hits and it's like, oh, she's not here for this. And yeah, it absolutely makes it like incredibly hard. And 2 years is like just like yesterday. So that sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, I know there's a lot of people that have similar stories like that just those, but so at least you're able to channel that in a positive energy and create some great memories for kids and
like whole families. Like you would not believe, like I guess I just never had this like growing up, but but like entire families. And when I say entire families, I mean like 30 and 40 people would come together as a group, like as a family. And they would wear like matching clothes and like other cool stuff like that identified them as all together. And it's like, holy crap, that's like what a family is supposed to be. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not like unaware that like I'm just seeing a snippet into their life to the point where it's like, I know that they have like difficulties and whatever, but it's like the fact that they can still come together for that one night and just show me, like they think that I'm giving them a good time, but really they're giving me a great time and like restoring my faith in like what family should be. So yeah, mutual benefit, and I got paid for it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I know a little bit just because I did watch. There's a the Amber Klear story on YouTube.
Oh, for sure.
I was watching some of that video, and you talk about some of your stuff with your family, and it was like I don't know, it was really sad. I mean but like you said, that you.
It is what it is. Like
Yeah.
I'm not. So I think that like. Sometimes people go through difficult times and they use that as an excuse to like be a difficult person, or to like use that as an excuse of like, hey, I had a terrible upbringing and like, so I'm allowed to be like a shithead to people, or I'm going to be unhappy. And I think I use it as a catalyst to like, I don't want to be like that. That's not what I want out of life. And I mean, I've been homeless. I had a blood clot in my brain and was told I was going to die. Like I've been through some shit. And like every time it just makes me more appreciative of like all the good days. Like it is, I think I'm a really happy person because I make sure that like I ask myself the right questions, and I make sure that like I live every day like I'm in a Hallmark movie. Like, oh, it's snowing. I'm not like, snowing, it's going to cramp my style and the drive is going to be bad. I'm like, look at this winter wonderland. But so I think that like I use bad things to remind myself about the good things, and I try not to dwell on them or stress. And I ask myself every day, like, what did I learn from this? There's 3 questions I literally ask myself every day. And one of them is like, what did I learn today? 2, what did I do to improve my environment? Like, I'm in control. That reminds me, like, what did I do? Like, I'm the person that should be taking charge of my life. So what did I do? And then 3, like, what are 3 things that I'm thankful for? And it can't be like, thankful for my house. It's like, has to be something from that day. And that helps remind me that, like, every day is a learning experience and fun, and it helps to ground me. Like, no matter how much success I have or how little success I have, like, every day I'm still going to be thankful. Every day.
Right.
So, yeah. So I've had some big disappointments in comedy. I've had some great times, but I've had some big disappointments. So, yeah, I think I've talked to, like, 3 major networks, like, 4 times each. And every time they're like, yeah, promised you this, this, and this. And I've learned to, like, not have any expectations and just to like enjoy the experience. That's how I live my life.
Yeah, I think me and you have a lot of similarities in that sense. Like where, I've definitely have my issues with my family also. But I do. Try to make every day the best I can. Like I talked about it a while back on the show, but in high school we had a teacher named Coach Swafford, and he was the football coach for many years. But when I met him, he was our health teacher, and he I don't know, he came in like it was the very beginning of school, and he told us this whole thing about like, hey, just like I want you guys to enjoy life and do things. If somebody offers you concert tickets or Cardinal tickets or whatever, go and have a good time. Like you can do the homework later and turn whatever it is, like, and that kind of stuff. And it was all about living life. And then him and his wife used to always say this, like 5 and 5, live this 5 like your last 5 kind of thing. And they
So my question is, do you know why he became that way? Because he wasn't born that way.
Right. Now
he became that way.
I'm not sure.
Something happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but what really pushed him on that path. But that's what that was like his message that he talked a lot about. And he ended up having a massive heart attack and passed away like the weekend after he told us all that stuff.
Oh man.
And
do you think he knew? Or had he always been like that?
I mean, no, that was his message for a long time, but he was like going on about this stuff and it was just like, it just felt like he told us this, all this stuff, and then he passed away over the weekend, and and it was like, it was devastating, but it was like, it really like, really
Drove that message home.
Yeah, really resonated, because it's like, it just goes to show, like, nothing is guaranteed. No promises. We all have our time, and then
live every day like it's your last.
Right. So obviously he already made an impact long before that, but it was like I've always carried that message with me too. Like, and I try to pack as much fun stuff into my everyday life as that's why I like going to as many concerts as I do and doing all the fun stuff. So
I mean, it's not just about fun stuff too. It's about, like, I think that if you live every day like it's your last, it allows you the power to be vulnerable. And I think when you're vulnerable with people, you have deeper relationships. But I think it also, like, allows you to live your true self. Like, you're not waiting to hurt someone's feelings, or you're not living authentically. Like, I'm going to be vulnerable and tell people how I feel. So I tell everybody that I love them. Like, I hang up. I probably was on the phone with you. I was like, love you, bye. Because I think that, like, that's an important thing, that I want everybody to know that I love them. Everyone. Like, I love some people more than others, and some people I'm in love with, but I love everyone. Like, there is nothing you can do to make me hate you, for the most part. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people out there that I would probably curb stomp, but, like, it takes a lot for me to get there. Like, I think we were talking earlier during ice cream, in the last 3 days, maybe 2 days, I've had at least 12 people tell me I was ugly. Like, I put a picture on Snapchat, and my Snapchat is lit, by the way. If you're listening, you should find my Snapchat. I literally put a picture up of how cool my shirt was, because it glows in the dark. And 4 people that, 1 I knew, 3 I didn't really know, had to send me a message, took the time out of their day to send me a message and tell me how crooked my teeth were. And it's like, I'm aware of how crooked my teeth were. What I'm now aware is how crooked their views on life are. Like, if that's what you focus on, my teeth being crooked, when that fucking shirt glows in the dark, bro. Like, look at that shirt. That was a cool shirt. Like, I don't have many glow-in-the-dark shirts. I assume other adults, they must have had all of the glow-in-the-dark shirts, because they were not impressed, and they focused on my teeth. And I'm like, out of everything beautiful in that picture, like, that's what you focus on. So it's weird. Like, and I told them back, like, I literally said, like, my teeth aren't what's crooked here. It's literally your views on life. But I want you to know I still love you. And whatever's going on in your life that you can't see beauty, like, I hope it gets better. Because I do. Like, I hope that, like, whatever they're going through, that they can't see happiness, like, I hope that they fix it.
Right.
Like, yeah, because that's usually what it is. Like, hurt people hurt people. So, yeah, I hope that they learn to take time out of their day to be productive and spread joy and happiness, even just for themselves, rather than be hateful. Like, I'm trying to think what else somebody, like, I've had some weird experience. The last 3 days, like, I've not been called ugly so much in my life. Like,
I can't even, I don't even get how, like, somebody says that to somebody, like, like, it's okay to, like, not say that stuff. It's like, you don't have to.
It's, yeah.
You can, if you can have these thoughts, you don't have to verbalize them and put them out there. But, like,
so I think literally what happens is people have had so much negativity passed to them that they think the way to get rid of it is to pass it to other people.
Right.
So if someone calls them ugly or mentions something about them that they don't like, they mention something to someone else thinking, if I just pass this on, it'll go away. But in reality, the only way that you can get rid of negativity is by creating positivity. Like, you have to find a happy experience out of that. Like, you can't just keep passing the negativity on, because that just makes the world more negative. And then guess what happens to you? Like, the world is circular, whether we want to believe it or not. Happiness is circular, but so is negativity. So if you just keep passing on this negativity, like, it's just going to come back to you. So I stop it with me, and then I try to spin it into something happy and positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do the same thing on stage. People are like, oh my God, these stories are great. They're crazy. Like, can't believe how many times I laughed at you almost dying. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's a good time, right? It used to, like, mess with my head a little, because I'm like, I'm literally telling people how I've almost died, and they're just laughing their asses off. But I realized, like, that's my gift. Like, I can turn, like, this terrible experience into something just hilarious, because if you can't learn from it, you should laugh at it.
Sure.
I think that everyone should laugh with me, because I've made some big mistakes in life. So, yeah.
You ever listen to Ryan Sickler? Does a show called The Honeydew?
I've never even heard of that. So, like, yeah, I'll have to listen to that.
Well, so Sickler is like, he did a show called The Crab Feast with for a long time with Jay Larson. Jay's a Boston comic. Ryan's from Baltimore, and they
East Coasties.
yeah, but they're like that show. I don't know if I met Jay and a Funny Bone, and Jay's like, hey, I do this podcast, and I already like Jay's comedy and,
Cool.
and him as a person. So that was like my first introduction into podcasting. So I credit those guys for even
That's awesome.
wanting me to like find this, to want to do this show and stuff. So
I will for sure have to check them out too.
yeah, but Ryan does now. So after the Crab Feast kind of came to an end, and he started the Honeydew, and the tagline of the show is highlighting the lowlights, and he gets a lot of great comedians and various people, and then now he's started a Patreon show where he's doing the show with like listeners and fans of the show, and he calls it the Honeydew with Y'all, and so he's like having these people come on and share their stories too.
That's
and,
awesome.
But he goes through like the worst shit of their life, and
Yeah,
and they share
absolutely.
these terrible stories, and he just laughs in their face about it and like makes a joke about it, and it's like it's not like mean,
Yeah.
but because he's also been hurt and gone,
Yeah,
and that's why he but he like. He helps them find the way to spin it and make it a positive, like or something that we can laugh at now and like get over the pain and stuff of it
Absolutely.
all. And so, but anyway, it's a great show, and it's one of my favorites to listen to. There's like some of the most, especially the Honeydew with Y'all. There was a guy on there the other day. Again, you have to subscribe for that one, but it's like he like goes and cleans up like.
Murder scenes.
These murder scenes or people that like just died in their home, and like so he had like some of the wildest stories about these scenes that he's like cleaned up, and I was like,
So I worked as an EMT, and then I worked in the ER of a hospital briefly. So I have some messed up stories that, like, again, I think that just all led me to appreciate life more. But side note, I have a project that I'm working on. It's a video series thing that hopefully will go on a network, knock on wood, soon. A network kind of bought it and then didn't buy it, and some stuff went back and forth, but it's about me interviewing St. Louis people that have been through some major tragedies. And we don't laugh at what they went through. We just talk about how that changed their perspective, like how it altered their life in a good way. So we don't dwell on like what they went through. We dwell on what they learned from it. And like,
Right.
I think that I'm doing that to hopefully help other people learn that no matter how bad things are, like, you can still be happy. You can still live a happy life. Like, you can still live your best life. Every day can be your Hallmark movie. You don't want a Lifetime movie, you want a Hallmark movie. I think Lifetime is responsible for more divorces than any other channel.
all right. Yeah. I mean, I guess it did sound bad. I said Ryan laughed at him about.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
He finds the humor in the situations. And
Yeah,
stuff,
absolutely. It doesn't sound bad. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but
I'll have to listen to it for sure.
it's I mean, I don't know. It's also for me like, not that you want to listen to everybody's terrible, sad stories, but I feel bad for them. But it also, in a sense, is like, there's certain ones that are like more therapeutic for, it is helpful to hear some people that have gone through similar things and how they turned out for them, and you realize you're not alone in some of these things that you feel and stuff. So, like for me, when I was going through losing mom and like all that stuff, like I listened to a comedian tell a story about losing their parent, and so it really kind of helped. Like, even though cancer takes all kinds of people, like you do feel alone at times, and hearing that kind of stuff was nice. But
I think for me, like I think that like I've lost people. Like I lost obviously my grandma and my grandpa, and I am very sad about losing them, but I'm also like, I try to focus on the positive of, I'm so thankful that I had them in my life.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because there's not a lot of people that I had that I was that close to my life. And more importantly, like I could complain about like, oh, I don't have family or whatever, but like I had family. Like I had my grandma and grandpa who were very close and one of the best for me. Even though sometimes I didn't see it at the time, but like there are people out there who don't have anybody.
Right.
There are still orphanages out there. There are still people that like they're in families and they feel lonely because their families are terrible. And I hope that like they understand that they don't have to stay with their family because they're terrible, because you should never feel alone when you are with your family. Like, not all families are good, is what I'm trying to say. And like, if you're listening and you have like, and you know your family's not good for you, like, it's okay to walk away. But also, like, when you lose people, try to focus on the fact that like you had them, because they were graced in your life for however long you were fortunate. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, let's. We haven't really even talked about your comedy too much.
dick jokes.
But let's kind of change gears and talk
about happy things.
Yeah.
I get wild. Like, this is what's funny. Like,
Yeah.
I'll do a comedy show and I will get super close to the audience. And I have like all this material, okay? But I'll go off on a tangent because like New Year's Eve, I was doing a show in, I don't know where I was. I was somewhere. I was in the middle of nowhere, but all these people came out and they were all super duper nice. And this whole family, like, I'm not kidding, this whole family had like, all the men were wearing the same flannel shirt, like they did that thing that's on TikTok, and it was funny.
Yeah.
And like they sat front row, and I try to pick someone that's either married or someone that's older or somebody that's safe to like pick on. And I don't mean pick on, like I mean acknowledge in a positive way, because I don't pick on people, like, unless they're rude. And then I say things like, "Oh, you look like the underside of a 72-year-old's ball sack." But that's only if they're mean. Like, if you're not mean and you're at my shows, I only acknowledge you in positive ways. Like, I'm like, "What's up, Big Dick Dave?" Like, just I can tell that this person has big dick energy. Like, whatever's happening here is great. But New Year's Eve, like, this whole family was there, and I ended up like, for the first time in my entire comedy career, I think I chose a single man that was close to my age, and I just sat down on his lap and just started getting to know him. And like, the audience was having such a great time, and like, it was really, like, it was a great show, but it was like fun because now I'm Facebook friends with like, I kid you not, I'm Facebook friends with his sister, his mom, all of his family like was at the table, and they're all like, "Oh, you're gonna go jeeping with us," and I fucking will. Like, I got a jeep, they got jeeps, like, I'm going. And then I've had other funny things happen. Like, I do a monthly show at this place. I gotta breathe for a minute. So I do a monthly show at like this really fancy place. And you're not gonna be able to tell which it is because I do a couple monthly shows. But like, there's this guy that he's probably in his 70s or 80s, and he always has 3 women with him, and they're ranging in age from 60 to 80, and he always sits in the front row. Okay, he always sits in the front row, and I'm always like, "Man, you got something big in your pants, like a big old wallet or something." He's always out with 3 older women. I'm like, "What is happening here?" And he's always like super supportive, and I love him, right? I love this guy. And I should preface and say I never wear heels. Like, I'm not a good walker. I'm so distractible. So I took a chance one night, and I wear some heels. And the minute I step off stage, like, the show is over, but like the lights are going to stay on because I have to sell some merch up there, right? The show's over. I step off the stage. My shoe breaks. Immediately, my shoe breaks. But I kind of catch myself. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm okay." And then the guy looks at me and goes, "Did your shoe break?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Let me see it." And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Let me see your foot." And I was like, "Sir, my feet look like Pocahontas and Shrek had a baby, and that baby ran through the swamp and then kept running. Like, my feet are nasty." And this man looked at me and he said, "Let me see your foot." And I still was like, "No." And then he did the thing that, like, I cannot, like, if anybody does this, like, I immediately do what they say. Like, it's something ingrained in me. He used, like, the authoritative voice, and he was like, "Put your foot on my lap now." And so I fucking did it. Like, I didn't have any other option. So I just, like, lifted my foot up, and I put it on his, like, thigh, and he starts to, like, caress my calluses, and I was like, I fucked up, but like, I couldn't stop. And I was honestly impressed with my balance. So he's like caressing my calluses, and he starts to like braid my toenail hair. Like, all of the old women he's with are just laughing their asses off. And I'm like, I fucked up. So I go to like pull my foot back, and he like pulls it closer to his old man wrinkly penis. And he's like, "I'll give you $50 for a foot pick right now." And I like thought about it for a minute. I'm like, "Does my face have to be in it?" And he was like, "What? No, do you just not have one on your phone?" I was like, "No, I have like stock images of my feet."
Got a whole folder right here. Yeah.
And then I thought about it. I was like, "Well, I have to buy the comedians breakfast the next morning. Like, $50 is $50. Fuck it." So I was like, "Sure, fine. Take a picture of my foot." This man whips out a flip phone, and he takes a pixelated foot picture. And I like, the old women are just laughing. Like, she whips out $50, hands it to me, like, boom. And I'm like, I thought the one lady was dying because I didn't know if she was going to have a heart attack or laughing or what was happening.
So wait, she paid for it?
Yeah, so she did pay for it.
She paid for the foot thing?
I think she had his wallet, so I'm not sure what the dynamic was there, but whatever, right? So like I got a foot picture taken, and then this is how I talk about things. Like I had that was a traumatic experience, funny, but it's slightly traumatic. So the next night I have another show. And this is like a nice venue too. Like it's a little fancier, but like the crowd is a little younger. So I tell the exact story about how like somebody took a pixelated foot pic at the last show, and I was like, so I'm no longer selling foot pics for just $50. And so I went about the rest of my set, started talking about peanut butter on toast, like whatever it is I talk about. And after the show is over, like I'm walking to the bathroom, super hot dudes following me, and I'm like, fuck yeah. Super hot dudes right behind me. I'm like trying to like, I'm gonna talk to a hot dude. And I turn around and like talk to him, and he's like, how much for feet pics? And I was like, I don't know, like a lot. And he's like, how much per inch? And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, centimeters? And I was like, I don't know how the metric system works. Let's stick with feet. And then I got $75. Yeah, so I've been selling foot. Oh my God, can I talk about something grosser? Oh my God. So I keep telling this story, like, and it's like building, right? So then I have somebody that I don't know message me, okay? And they're like, hey, can you set up a thing on this website? I have a friend that wants to buy things. So I was like, what? So I set up this thing. And this guy like starts messaging me. He wants to buy some underpants. And I'm like, this is like, it's COVID times. And like I normally pre-COVID, I was booked out for 16 months, like 16 months. So COVID was kind of a blessing in disguise because it slowed me down a little. And like I did some TV stuff, and like I remembered how fun life is when you're not just working all the time. Cause comedy is so fun, but it is work. So like, I set up this thing, and I was like, I'll be okay with it. Like, I'll sell underwear, whatever. I get my underpants from Aldi. Like, these are $2 underpants. This is great. So, and I don't wear, like, panties. I wear underpants, okay? Like, I'm going to be honest. So, I get on there, and, like, I start selling underwear. Like, whatever. And I probably shouldn't tell my secrets, but, like, they're not going to know it was me. Like, my name is, like, Rotten McNasty Crotch or something. Like, right? Whatever. So, this guy messages me, and he's like, I need some stuff in your panties. And I was like, first of all, sir, they're underpants. Again, I'm going to refer to them as underpants. And he'd already purchased 2 pair, okay? And so, like, you wear them, and then you, like, mail them. Like, I have one of those food saver things. You just, like, and then you, like, lock it in, right? And he was like, I need some substance in there. And I was like, what does he want in my underwear? And I was like, does he want me to shit my pants? But I was like, no, dudes are not into that. And then I was like, well, some of them might be. But I was like, I don't know how to, like, sexually talk to him and be like, what do you want, my underpants? So I figured it out. What I did was I literally I got, again, all the underpants. I got some mayonnaise, and I put them in the underwear, and then I like set them on the deck, and I left them in the sun so it, like, melted, because like mayonnaise will melt, right? So like it melted into the underwear, and I was like, that looks right, like that looks good, that looks okay, because I also didn't want him to have my DNA, and like also I don't have like a stinky vagina, so I don't know, like whatever. He was like, wear them for 3 days, and I was like, ugh, like people are gonna think I smell. So put the mayonnaise in them, put them in the sun, and then I Ziplocked them, put them in the food saver, and I mailed them to him. This man literally is like, oh, I loved them. You were so tangy. Ooh. And I was like, that's Elvis, bitches. But the bad thing is like, a few days later, I found out he has salmonella. And I was like, that's the mayonnaise. Like, that's, oh, yeah. So, like, that's, like, this is what I talk about on stage. I talk about things that happened on stage. So it's just like this constant rolling ball of like, oh, shit. Like, I started off talking about how I picked up a homeless man, and then some guy was like, would you let me ride in the vehicle with you? And, like, everything snowballed from there. Like, yeah. I've had marriage proposals. Kind of a marriage. Yeah. Like, yeah, there's no ordained minister. Like, yeah.
All right.
I don't put my comedy videos online because I want people to come out and, like, do real life stuff.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's, I know you're like, wow, you can talk. Yeah.
It's that tangy zip of Miracle
Yeah.
Whip.
That's the Miracle Whip.
Yeah.
Can't believe he got salmonella, though. Like, I would have been very sad if he would have died because I would have felt so responsible.
Well, I mean, if he's,
Licking strangers' underwear?
Yeah, I mean, who knows what else is doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I kind of wish I would have shit in my pants or something. Like, If you're listening, I will not
Right.
shit in my pants and send it to you. That's too far. I have a line. That is my line.
That would be really funny though. Like, like.
Maybe I melt the Hershey's.
I got exactly what I know what you're talking about. And then like you just send him that and then he opens up the bag and just
Just like shit in the pants. Like he had already sent the money, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. There's a lot of guys that are really gross.
I'm not kink shaming anyone. Like I am proud of you for exploring your sexuality. Like if you're out there and you're doing stuff, like as long as it's like between consenting adults,
right.
Like I'm proud of you, man. But also like that's fucking weird.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm into supporting people in their kinks. Again, as long as it's consensual adults.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just don't know if I could shit in my underpants, put it in a bag, and mail it to someone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on a high protein diet right now. You don't want that. Like, you don't want that. Yeah.
Also, like,
Toots Magoots over here.
also, like, just like being able to ask somebody, for that, like, to, especially like coming up to you at the show and asking for feet pictures and stuff.
I've had
like,
people ask for weirder things.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I would never think of that. Like, it's not something that I would ever want to, ask somebody like
I mean,
that.
I'm proud of them. That's confident. I'm proud of them. They're being vulnerable.
Right.
Like I would never shame someone unless they were like, I don't know, rude about something or whatever. Like I'm proud of him for being vulnerable. Good for you, foot pick asking guy. Like if someone wants to ask me for foot pics, I will be proud of you.
Do you remember those old Budweiser commercials?
Real Men of Genius?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's to you, Mr.
Vulnerable.
Ask for feet picture guy.
Yeah.
Those were great.
Yeah, it just means that I feel honored that they would ask me because it means that they do feel comfortable enough with me to be vulnerable. Or they're just fucking crazy. And either way, I'm okay with that. Like, I fucking love crazy. Like, I think crazy is so fun.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, it's just a blast. It gets me in trouble sometimes, but it's so fun. Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of opportunities to get involved with these crazy shows. And you have a couple of big ones coming up through Illinois with Kevin Farley.
Absolutely. So not with Kevin Farley, but next weekend, January 21st and 22nd, I'm headlining at Mason City Comedy Club. That's like between Springfield and Decatur and Peoria. Honestly, I would Google it. It's called Mason City Comedy Club. Shane already knows I'm bad with directions. We were like 2 minutes away from here, and I had to like use my GPS to get back. But January 21st and 22nd, I'm headlining Mason City Comedy Club. And then the next weekend, I have a show at Walker's Bluff in Carterville, Illinois. That's between Carbondale and Marion. It's like a giant castle. It's very fancy. And then that Saturday, which I think is like the 28th, I'm up in Streator, Illinois, which I'm super excited about because I've had Starved Rock on my hiking list for a long time, and it's a couple hours away, so I'm going to do that. And then the next weekend I have some shows. And then I start performing with Kevin Farley, February 10th. So February 10th, Kevin Farley and I are in Effingham, Illinois at Tuscan Winery. February 11th, we are somewhere. We're in Marion, Illinois at a place. Yeah, it's a beautiful venue. They have a beautiful, their chandelier is amazing. So we're just going to call it the Fancy Chandelier Place in Marion. Oh, man. Oh, it's Celebrations. It's called Celebrations in Marion. And then on Saturday, February 12th, I'm at Willow Creek, which is in Fairfield, Illinois, which is another gorgeous venue. That is like, I have the luxury of only accepting performing in places that I want to be in. For some reason, I pick these like super gorgeous places, and then I pick these freaking dive bar places.
Right.
All of those places are gorgeous. Kevin and I are staying in a super cool Airbnb on Saturday, and I'm very excited. Not like together, like he has a room and then I have a room, like he's married and I'm stuff. But like it's this really cute Airbnb, and I'm super excited for that too. So
yeah.
And there's like 2 food places that I've looked up, and then I have shows after that, like all over too. But just like message me and I'll tell you, or like follow me on home or on the internet, like wherever you want to follow me. Yeah.
I would. I mean, that would. I don't know. I'm sure he gets it everywhere he goes, but like I would just like nerd out totally listening to stories about Chris, like because like I spent a majority of my youth imitating him, and
Absolutely, yeah.
it was like Chris was a huge part of my growing up, and a lot of my comedy taste and stuff. Like I think I probably watched Tommy Boy like that summer, hit HBO, like whatever, 97, like probably.
I think Kevin was actually
times.
in Tommy Boy. He was in Tommy Boy or Waterboy or a couple of films with
Sure.
Adam Sandler and his brother Chris. But he also like has shows on like ABC and some other stuff like that he can hold his own absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
His mannerisms are sometimes similar to his brother, but he like definitely has his own style, and he can absolutely hold his own comedically.
Right.
Like it just runs in that family, and
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be working with him.
I mean, that's the thing. Like I don't ever, here we had Nathan Norton, doing comedy in St. Louis, and now he moved to New York.
New York, yeah.
But like, he gets it a lot. People want to talk to him about his brother. And so,
Funny story about that.
So, but it's that kind of thing. It's like I don't ever want to just make it all about
His brother, absolutely.
Obviously Kevin's very talented in his own sense, and
For sure.
But me personally, I would have a really hard time not trying to get asked about stories and stuff. So
I'm gonna hope that Nathan isn't listening, but I think he knows about this now. But like Nathan, I adore as a person. Like I think that Nathan is just a super smart person, and he has kinesthetic or kinetic intelligence. There's all these types of intelligence, and like I don't have the one that's like body intelligence, and he does. So I'd have all these really good conversations with him, and he was very kind about stuff, about me trying to like get fit or like figure stuff out or whatever. But like I found out that his brother was a famous wrestler, and so I love wrestling now, like especially midget wrestling. If anybody out there ever wants to invite me to midget wrestling, like I will fucking go. If I could find like a celebrity guest hosting or like celebrity like referee as like a midget wrestler person, like that would be like a dream. But like, so Nathan has this famous wrestler brother, right? And finally, like I found out his brother's name is Randy somehow. For like 3 years, I thought his brother was like the snap into a Slim Jim, because that was the only Randy I knew that was a wrestler.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, his brother's really famous, and like it just didn't click with me that like there could be other Randys. So the entire time I'm like, man, that's fucking like that's weird but cool, man. So I would like bring like Slim Jims and be like, hey, do you want one? Like, haha. And I don't think he ever got it. Like I don't think he ever. And then someone was like, why? And I was like, dude, his brother's like Randy, the wrestler. And they're like, you're thinking of Randy Savage. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's probably his brother. Like, and they're like, no, it's not. So like, yeah, for years I would like whisper in Nathan's ear, like, snap into a Slim Jim. Because I didn't like, I don't understand life. Like, there's such like, I didn't know that there's like a huge age gap. Like I'm not, like I barely watch TV. Like I just do my own thing so much that like I don't know what's going on in the media. So if I saw like a commercial or like heard something or saw a meme, I was like, that's Nathan's brother.
Yeah.
And still to this day, when I see neon colors and fringe, I think of Nathan Orton. Like I should not admit this because I feel so dumb, but like that's just what I thought. Like, yeah, poor Nathan. He's cool. He's holding his own on.
Sure. Yeah. I'm glad to see his continued success and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. He deserves it. He works hard.
For sure. Yeah, I'm real happy for him. But yeah, so that's a super cool opportunity. You're gonna get to hang with Kevin for the couple of
3 days.
And
there's more than that. Like I have more stuff than that with
Sure.
him, but like that's just what I can remember right now. Yeah.
But get involved. You can, like I said, you got your Facebook page, the Happiness Enthusiast.
Yeah, so you can look up The Happiness Enthusiast, or you can just find like my profile. It's just Amber Klear, but my last name is Klear, and you can find me, follow me, like friend request me, like whatever. Like let's chill on the internet together.
Right.
Like both pages. Like I put some weird stuff on both pages.
Right.
Like I put some weird stuff on there, but it's fine. Like people see how my brain works sometimes, and they're like, "What happened to you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, a lot. Yeah, I just live my life. Like I say yes a lot.
Sure.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, I've said that too. Like, you learn to, especially having a show like this, you learn to just say and like and see what happens, and like and it's just fun to see where it takes you, or where what life happens. Just a great example today. Well, who knew we were going to go get gelato together?
Yeah,
and
the fountain. I'm telling you, that fountain, when it's going, it's beautiful.
Sure, but it was just like random occurrences. We just say yes and keep going and see what happens. So it was a lot of fun.
I genuinely like people too, and I think that helps. Like, I can be out anywhere and like just people will tell me their life story, and I love it. Like, I've had other friends that are like, "Isn't that mentally exhausting? Like, why don't you tell that person to go away?" And I'm like, "No, I fucking love it. Like, I love hearing people's stories, and I love like sometimes they just need to vent. But like sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I know this person that can help you with this, and this person, because I know people from so many different aspects of life. Because when I tell you, I've had so many different careers in my life. Like, I cannot begin to describe the amount of amazing people that I know, that like it's just about resources. So like sometimes person A needs help with like something that like I know somebody from this category, and it's really cool. Like that I can just a little network, just like a little network. Yeah, I went out last night. Like, again, I forget what it's like to go out. We went to this like karaoke bar, and I couldn't even tell you what town we were in. I went with my friend Katie, and she was like, let's go to karaoke. And I was like, whatever, I have a cool Jeep and snow tires, let's go. And we get there, and I feel like I walked into an episode of The Voice, right? Like every person that got on stage was just singing a banger and nailing it. And so I was like really obsessed with this one guy. Like he sang every song perfect. Like, I'm not kidding, all of the singers did, but he was singing these like huge songs and just fucking nailing it, like spot on. And so I took a couple terrible videos because I was like enthralled, but like I couldn't like, I just had to watch him. Like I couldn't even record it. Like I just had to watch. But I did get a couple short videos. I posted it on my Facebook this morning, and I was like, this guy's amazing. Like, who is this guy? And I've had 4 people message me and be like, oh, that's this person. This is how I know him. And then like someone else is like, oh, yeah, he does this and this and this, and he's amazing. And I'm like, that was quick, like under 2 hours, and I found him. Like, that's perfect.
Right.
Yeah, because I think we may have been up by Alton last night. I'm not sure. I forgot, like, again, don't know where I was. I'm just like, yeah let's go. So she's like, yeah, turn here. I could be driving down an alley to my own death and be like, fuck yeah, I'm just going to follow these directions. Like, it is what it is.
Did you sing?
No. So I will sing Tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only karaoke song that I'll do.
Yeah.
No, I will, I'll eventually, like, I'll do some karaoke, but like last night, I'm not kidding. Like, these people were there were 5 or 6 people that were just like nailing it, that like, I hope that they're singers for life. Yeah. Like, I hope that's what they do. I hope that's what they are blessed to be able to do for money, because that is just like raw talent. And it was just like pure joy on their faces, but also it was pure joy on like other people's faces. And it reminded me of like people come up to me after shows of comedy and they're just like so happy. And I hope that like I give people the same happiness that I felt last night watching those people on stage. Sure. I know it's like a different genre, like music to comedy doesn't always translate, because music can like do things to you on the inside, like just your core. But I think that comedy can do that too, because I've had some really excited people come up to me after shows and like hug me and cry and laugh, and they'll have experienced something and like I made it funny, or I'm just so excited about life that they're excited. And yeah, I hope that like I give them that same joy.
Sure.
Like, that guy gave me great joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of great comedians that I, made a huge impact on my life, and then there's certain, like, I don't know, Christopher Titus comes to mind.
Yeah.
The way I've seen him live a couple different times, and it's always,
from Chelsea lately, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's done all kinds of stuff, but yeah, I saw him did a show at the Sheldon here in St. Louis, and it was like more of like a one-man theater type of show, and it was like a lot of like, make you laugh, make you cry, like, it was a whole range of emotions.
Yeah.
And then I saw him do a club set at Helium, and he
completely
just
show.
Crushed that show too. Like,
but it's a different vibe, different show, different stories.
It was a lot more joke, know, and stories too. But like, even the stories had punches every, and throw them. But the same kind of thing. Like, you're getting as much as a song can do it, or music and stuff. Like, comedians know how to tap into all that stuff too.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, that's why sometimes, like, I've performed in front of a couple thousand people before, but, like, at my heart, like, I love performing in places where I can go walk among the crowd.
Sure.
Like, if you give me a microphone where I am untethered and I can just walk, that's, like, my favorite. And here's the thing, like, I'm not, like, even sometimes, like, picking on people or acknowledging them. Like, I just like seeing people's faces more when they're reacting and, like, seeing that true joy when they throw their head back and they just laugh.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've done shows at, like, some pretty big theaters, and, like, people do the polite, like, laugh and golf clap, or, like, the Midwest. I love the Midwest. Like, people are so polite. Sometimes they'll just nod, and I'm like, no, or they'll, like, laugh silently, and I'm like, ma'am, you have to laugh out loud. Like, I cannot tell if you are having a seizure or laughing, and I need you to laugh out loud for me right now. Because, like, I want people to experience, like, just joy, like, being vulnerable and just let yourself laugh. And I know that I'm not for everybody. Like, there are people who have written to me, like, you're so dirty, and I'm like, come to a different show. I promise I won't be as dirty.
I'm
like,
going to be way dirtier.
well, sometimes here's the thing, like, sometimes I'm dirty, sometimes I'm not. Like, it just depends on, like, what the audience laughs at in, like, the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I do jokes talking about how I'm a positive person. Like, I'm so positive that whenever I walk into a public restroom and it smells really, really bad, at least I know the toilet seat will be warm. And then, like, how people react to that, like, immediately I know what direction to go. It's either like, okay, that's a shitty joke, literally, and they didn't laugh at it, or, like, they laugh really hard and I get worse. Like, it is my favorite game to play is Bathroom Surprise. That's where I use a public restroom, forget to lock the door, get naked to poop, and everyone is surprised that I'm in there. Like, whatever people laugh at, like, I will inch them along. And then I've had people where I have said the dirtiest things, like, dirty things. Like, I talk about how I accidentally got finger blasted by the lady who waxes my vagina. Like, I talked about that during the show. And this lady came up to me, and I shit you not, she goes, it is so nice to see a female comedian who can work and be clean and doesn't have to talk about naughty things. And I was like, ma'am, were we at the same show? But here's the thing, it's how she interpreted it. Because I dress nice and I'm fancy and I smile and I'm not mean. So I think she interpreted, like, clean as being not mean, when in reality, like, I was talking about literally, like, shit in my front yard and, like, all this other stuff, and, like, she just thought I looked cute and laughed a lot. So she was like, this is a clean show. Because, like, she was talking about my other jokes. So I know she was listening. And she didn't give it up to go to the bathroom because she was sitting in the front row. And, like, I saw her laughing. Because I think that's my favorite thing about comedy. Like, I just love watching people laugh.
Sure.
Like, I love making them laugh. Like, I love watching them laugh. And I have to be on stage, because if I sit in the corner of a comedy show and I watch people laugh, that's creepy. So I just, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I was just at, I can't not acknowledge Backdoor Comedy Club. I was just at Backdoor Comedy Club. I headlined there, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And that show got, like, super wild and fun. Like, I think it was a Saturday. It may have been Friday. I think it was Saturday. Like, it just got so fun. And this is how small the world is, okay? So I live about 2 hours away from Backdoor Comedy Club and Events, which is, like, just north of St.Loius. Somebody at the show took a picture of me on stage, put it on their Snapchat, and then immediately after the show, she goes, oh my God, you know my friend X. And I was like, what? How do you know that? She goes, I met him on Tinder, and he's on my Snapchat, and I took a picture of you, and he said, that's my friend Amber. And then he sent me pictures of you. She was like, do you really know him? And I was like, yeah, I really know him. Super nice guy, in the Air Force, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've never been like I've never been, like, intimate. Like, I say intimate, and I don't mean, like, sexually. I mean just, like, mentally, emotionally. Like, so I don't know, like, but he seems pretty cool. Like, I know him well enough. And, like, it was just weird that, like, that's happened other places. I was at Yellowstone. I rode my motorcycle across the United States a couple times, but for this, I was at Yellowstone. And I'm just, like, looking at stuff. Like, I'm just, like, in awe of all of these things. And I hear a little voice go, Amber? And I, like, don't think they're talking to me. And then they say it again and tap me on the shoulder. And I look at this person, and I have no idea who they are. And they're like, Amber. And I was like, hey, buddy. Like, I don't know how to respond. So I'm just like, everybody, hey, buddy. Meanwhile, I have no idea who this person is. And they start talking about Costa del Sol and the Gypsies. And I was like, I was in Costa del Sol with the Gypsies. And I was like, do I know this person? And then, like, yeah, I did. I met this person in Spain. And then it was like 10 years ago. Here I am at Yellowstone, and they're there again, and they recognize me. Like, I guess they had changed quite a bit, like shorter hair and like just.
Sure.
And I know that like I've probably changed too, but apparently I look the same. I don't know. Even last night, like we were again like an hour away from where I live, and some guy comes up to me and he's like, "Amber?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You don't know who I am, do you?" And I was like, "Listen, it's really dark in here and I have astigmatism." And he was like, "I'm so-and-so." And he's like, "I just want to let you know I'm so proud of you." And I was like, "What?" Like, and he told me who he was. And like, so I outed myself last night about this. In my head, so I have a TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. So like my memory works different from other people's. It doesn't like not work. It just works differently. So in my head, every person has a nickname, and that's how I remember them. Like I don't like use their name. Like in my head, like I just have this like intrinsic thing of how I remember them. And it changes over time. Like I had a friend that was short boss, like short bus, but short boss. And now she's something completely different. But like in my head, until I saw him and it clicked who he really was, I had no idea. But like, he was telling me all these like things that like, I don't know. I shouldn't tell the rest of the story because I don't want to out him on some stuff, but like I was really proud of him too. So.
Yeah.
But it's just a small world. Like it is such a small world.
Sure.
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah, those are interesting things. Like for sure. Like I at one time Lambert's. You know.
I love Lambert's in
yeah.
Sykeston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I drove like 3 hours away from my house, and I'm eating at Lambert's, and I walk in, and like I see people from my hometown, and I'm like,
That's awesome.
You know, and it's stuff like it's just like a really strange, like, why are we both here?
Yeah.
You know,
how did this happen? Why didn't you invite me? Yeah.
So
I've never left Lambert's with dry pants. Not that I wet them, but like, you know how they throw rolls?
Sure.
Like how I was talking earlier, I don't have the physical type of intelligence that Nathan does. Like, so they would throw the rolls and like, I'm enthusiastic. Like I want to catch it, but I don't. And every time I knock my soda over or somebody knocks my soda over, and like, no matter what, like it just hits me in the pants. So I leave there all the time looking like I pissed myself, which is fine. Like I just know now, like it's happened 4 times. Like I know
she really loves Lambert's.
Yeah, I know to bring dry pants. Like I'll just change in the parking lot. Yeah, I change clothes in a lot of parking lots. Like I don't care. My swimsuit parts are covered.
Yeah.
Like I have a good time.
Well, you mentioned some of your travels and getting to see some of the world. You know, because of comedy.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And,
I'm so happy.
Stuff. So I wanted to ask some questions and stuff. Like, what when you're hitting the road? Like, what's your like go-to favorite like gas station snack? Like, what do you grab when?
So, gas station snack. I don't know. Like, I can't eat like hot dogs and stuff. Like they give me migraines. But like, if they have a cheese pizza, like honestly, gas station snack, cheese pizza from Casey's.
Oh yeah,
Casey's has the best cheese pizza.
Yeah,
like,
shout out to Casey's.
Yeah. Like I'm a pizza purist, so I really like cheese pizza.
Yeah.
But like I'll throw down on other pizzas, like especially like chicken bacon ranch.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, even just like sausage. Like Casey's pizza is probably the best. But other than that, like I'm like a Mountain Dew, like a flavored, like a fun flavored Mountain Dew, and I don't know, just like a Milky Way or a Laffy Taffy, but like I try to like, knock on wood, I've been trying to eat healthier.
Sure.
So I've been like packing stuff to like take with me, but like gas stations have a lot of like oranges and stuff now too.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll go to Sam's Club and buy like 8 pounds of oranges and throw them. They like, it doesn't matter what temperature it is, an orange will stay good in your Jeep. Like yeah. So
yeah, I've been trying to get right myself and try not to eat as much of that stuff, but you know,
the lazy way to do it is to like go buy like oranges, apples, and then you don't even take them out of your car. You just leave them in there, and then you just eat like, oh, I don't need to go through a drive-through. I have snacks right here. And peanuts. Peanuts are good I'm into bench pressing right now. Like I've been like going to the gym. What happened was I saw this like. I enjoy working out now, put it that way. And so I saw this guy and he was like weightlifting, and I was like, he had made like nobody like really upsets me, but like mentally, like they can look at me and I know it's a challenge. And like I was like, my dick is bigger. I'm gonna weightlift more. And so like I literally took 2 puffs of my inhaler and I fucking pounded out the exact same weight in a bench press that the guy next to me was doing. And then I was like, you know what? I think I could do more. And then I looked at him. I added more weights and then I fucking pounded it out. And I was like, I will win. I will win. So I can like bench press like 170 now. Like I'm still going. Like that's a lot for like a dude. Like that is an incredible amount for a female. Like I know there are people out there who can do lots and lots more, but like if you look at me, you know that's a lot because I'm not fit. Like, I do a lot of hiking, but I'm not fit. My fat to fit ratio is a little skewed. I'm hoping to like skew it back the other way. Like now that I finally like found stuff that I enjoy, like
Sure.
It helps that like there's fun people at the gym. I've had terrible gym accidents. I don't know, like I've had some accidents at the gym. I still go though. Like, yeah. Did you? I don't know how many. Like, I told the story at Backdoor Comedy Club, but like I've never told it since then because like it happened the night before. So I don't know if like I'm getting off on a tangent. Like this is just what I do. Yeah. So yeah. Back to questions.
All right.
I'm trying to avoid telling my most embarrassing story that I've told on stage and have a video of, but like, yeah.
So you don't want to tell?
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet. We got to work up to that.
All right. Yeah.
That's my face will get red.
All right.
Yeah.
I was we were cruising around in the Jeep and we had some tunes on and I was thinking also like you were saying music you listen but you're not really like
so like
but do you
I
have
love go ahead.
Well, do you have like certain like things that you like to put on your playlist until when you drive, or do you
So what happens for me is like I'll put on one song and then I'll like just let it play. But sometimes what I've learned is that like I will heart a song and then like I'll put it to whatever. I have Spotify if you guys want to follow my playlists because I have some funny playlist names. But like I'll heart a song and then like I'll shuffle it to whatever playlist it needs to go to. And then some of it is like chill. Some of it's angsty period music, like when I'm feeling angsty. Some of it like is like I'll make a playlist like if I ride with another person. One of my friends, he loves like Beastie Boys and Blink-182. So he will nerd out to certain songs. So I have a playlist that's like just for that person if I ride with that person. I have another friend who loves to like sing and is a wonderful singer, so I make a playlist for that person now. Like I think that like I love live music, but like I'm able to like get in on the radio. Like I'm also fine just like I'll turn on some Anderson East and like whatever plays next I'm good with. Like I really and Zach Bryan, like you know, like that was that was the first concert I went to in a long time.
How'd you get into him?
TikTok.
Yeah.
He was on TikTok and I was like, I like this song. I like this man's mustache. I'm gonna listen. But apparently if you have a mustache, like you can just get away with murder with me. Like I'll be like, oh, you have a mustache? Get in my car. Like, oh, you have a mustache and a knife? Get in my car. You have a mustache, a knife, and a bag of money? Get in my car. You have a mustache, a knife, a bag of money, and you're covered in blood? Yeah, get in my car. Like the mustache. That's all I see. Yeah. I have a Tom Selleck.
I got. Does
Rick have a mustache?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. I saw the way you were looking at him.
It's the mustache. Yeah. If he had overalls on, we would already like be best friends. Yeah. He didn't have overalls on, did he?
Not today.
Oh, good. Okay.
But I feel like I got into Zach Bryan late because like I went to that show. I mean, it was like a sold out show, and then like everybody sang literally like every word to those songs, and I was like, I just heard of them, and then like I bought the tickets I work for the pageant, so I get but like I got to go over the show and I took my buddy and we had a great time, but it was just like it was kind of a little like it was just weird that a guy is like pretty new at this, just getting
he
going.
has such a strong following on TikTok.
And then like
so side note, it surprises me that the pageant doesn't have like a podcast or a radio interview with every single artist that comes through, like a backstage thing. Like you should see if they'll let you do that. Like where literally every artist that go, I mean you probably couldn't do every, but like you and a couple dudes could like knock out. So that would be like I would be so curious to listen to like every comedian or artist that came through there. They should have to do a 30-minute interview like backstage at the pageant.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would follow that. Yeah,
right.
But yeah, I will just. I like Zach Bryan has such a smooth song repertoire, but also like he writes about stuff that I think people are like relatable to right now. And he seems pretty genuine. I know, like, I followed some TikTok drama about him and his now ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, and like, honestly, like, I think that makes him a stronger writer. Like, it sucks that he went through that, obviously. Like, it's very sad, but like, I think that like he experienced love and heartache, and I think that that's universally relatable to people. And then he uses TikTok, like, or he did when he was on tour. He like stopped using it, and I think that part of that like may have been because of some stuff with his wife, but like maybe he was trying to like heal that, and then like it didn't work, whatever, like he tried. But yeah, he has such a smooth vibe. Anderson East, just smooth, easy, like, I don't know. And then that Mark Broussard, that song Home, like that just gets me jazzed up to like, have you seen my post about like asking people what song? So like I did a post like what song people like to have sex to. And like I did it because I just thought it was funny. And like I genuinely, like, that's a way to get to know your friends. Like A, who will tell you what they listen to while they have sex or not, and B, what they actually listen to. And I had like hundreds and hundreds of comments. So I just kept going with like different themes. I think the last one I did was like, what song makes you want to slow dance? So I use all those and I make a Spotify playlist. Like my like I guess like crowd searched and I play like a lot of songs before shows and stuff too. Like I want people to like get amped before I go on stage. So the playlist I play like depends on the age group of the audience and the venue, if it's like a country venue or whatever. Because I resonate across. I don't talk about things specific to being just like a middle-aged white girl. Like I talk about things that like everybody can relate to. Because even if you don't ride motorcycle, you understand the trouble that motorcycles have gotten me into, or like this stupid shit that I've done. Like anybody could have done.
All right.
Like, yeah.
Let's see. What? So I was thinking like this one's kind of fun, and like you talked about doing some network stuff and talking to some different networks and things. But what would you see? Like, is there a show you would like to be in, like, or a world that a movie, or what do you see?
I mean, I think everybody's gonna say Yellowstone right now, but like I genuinely, when I say I don't watch TV, like I move around and do so much stuff in real life that like if I get to TV, I fall asleep so quickly. But I would absolutely love to be in Yellowstone, but more importantly, any DC or Marvel movie, like even if I could just have a cameo, like I would I would die. I would just die. I would be, and I wouldn't, like, I would just, I don't even need like a speaking line, just like a high five in the background. Anything DC or Marvel would be just amazing. Like, I love DC and Marvel movies.
It's not necessarily just to DC and Marvel, but I just like, that's like my bucket list kind of thing. Just like to have like, do some kind of like, scene of some sort in a movie, and like just have one line, be like, here's your coffee or whatever, that kind of thing.
No, I want, like, if I have a line, I want it to be iconic. Right. Like, the banana nut loaf is ready. Like, I'm going to make it iconic. Sure. Like, I'm going to fuck up a word or something. It's going to become like the phrase.
I just think it'd be fun to have that.
Or obviously Jurassic Park. Like, I would bang out some Jurassic Park scenes.
Yeah. I guess we got a new one on the next summer, right? Or this summer, right? I think it's coming up for 2022. I think, I don't know. Anyway, but
maybe. Yeah, everything's up in the air.
A new Jurassic World on the way, so that'll be fun. Those movies are always entertaining.
Yeah. I love dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I love animals.
Sure. But yeah, I don't know. Just something to think of. I think obviously talking your Polar Express story and everything else, like I feel like you would be quite the character on in any setting. So
I think I would love to like do voiceover work too, because I think like I hopefully, like, I don't know, people listening are going to judge me or not. Like, I think I have a decent voice, but I think my voice is animated. People always say my face is animated, but I think my voice is animated. Like, I just genuinely get excited, and I have all these accents that I can do. Like, I'm telling you, I had like Russians coming up to me speaking Russian and like thinking that I understood, and then Bosnian people. So my accent is just somewhere between Bosnian and Russian. And I'm just very respectful, and I'm like, actually, this is not real. And they're like, what? And I'm like, Potpish the bar. Like, I think that means good deal, sign here. Like, that's what. Potpish the bar. Good deal, sign here. Like, I just, yeah.
Sure. Hey, I'm a big fan of that world. Like, just I talk about it quite a bit on here, actually. Like that doing like cartoon voiceover and like I don't know, just it's pretty fascinating that and then especially when you realize it's a kind of a small network of people,
It absolutely is,
and that cover a lot of different voices.
Yep.
And are able to, do all sorts of a range of voices and stuff, and like.
What cartoon would you do a voiceover in?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, I just they're all a lot of fun for me. I like SpongeBob a lot, and like it would be.
What would your character name be if you were in SpongeBob?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you got to come up with one.
Yeah.
Write your own storyline, bro.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, they've done such a great job already with all the characters that they have. I don't know where I would fit in and what my character would be, but it would be it would be fun.
I'm gonna check back with you and be like, I need to develop storyline and develop plot. Like, let's do this. Yeah.
Speaking of mustaches earlier, though, there's one of my absolute favorite SpongeBob moments in the movie. Whenever they get the seaweed mustaches.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob and Patrick go out on their journey, and they got their mustaches, and they think they're all tough, and
anybody's tough with a mustache.
Yeah, and they run into this biker crew, and then the guy's like, "That's not a mustache. This is a mustache."
Like the old Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
And he squeezes his face, and his mustache pops out, and
that's awesome.
It's one of the best things ever.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I was on the Polar Express, there was a book. Speaking of mustaches,
that's how you start a sentence.
Yeah.
When I was on the Polar Express.
When I was on the Polar Express, there's a point where you read the book to them, and like one of the characters has a mustache, and I would dress like that character. Because, it's fun. And then I'd be like, you have to wear a mask on the Polar Express for the most part. So I would be like, oh, this is the most important page in the whole book. And then I would flip to the page and be like, look, it's a picture of me. My mustache is hiding under my mask. The dads would get it and laugh. The moms would get it and laugh. And the kids would be like, you don't have a mustache. And I was like, how do you know I have a mask on? It's, yeah. Yeah, I had a good time. It was so fun. I could get an entire crowd of like children and parents and like families to just like get so excited. Like before we even like left the train station, where I would yell north and they'd yell pole, and then I would make one side do it and the other side do it, and I'd go faster and faster until it was just and I'm like, okay, we have enough Christmas spirit. We can leave now. So yeah. It was so much fun. Like when there are wolves in the book, you're reading the book, and I'm like, okay, I tell you what, there are wolves in the book, which means there are wolves outside. And I would pick like a really attractive person, like really conventionally attractive person. I'd be like, okay, put your face against the window and scare the wolves away. And like a couple of people got offended, so I had to stop doing that. But I was like, that's so funny. So then I would make the whole train car howl. I'd be like, okay, everybody howl. And inevitably, you'd have like one or two little kids that would just be like, brrr. And I'm like, oh, you sound like a turkey. Like, what is happening? Like, or the kids going through puberty, they would howl and be like, howl. And I'm like, you dying? What happened? Like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Just fun. There's a teenager, a preteen boy. He was probably my favorite passenger. I could talk all day long about Polar Express, but he was probably my favorite passenger, and he was just so shy at first. And by the end of the ride, I had this kid dancing up and down the aisle with me, and I always yell, "Okay, look out! There's little aisle and lot of me. Keep your elbows in, or I'm going to fall in love." And like I had such a good time with that kid, and I remember seeing, like, in the 45 minutes he was on the train, his whole personality coming out. Yeah. And even his mom was, like, crying and thanking me, and she was like, he's autistic, and he doesn't do that. And
yeah.
She was like, I don't know what happened. And I was like, it's Christmas magic.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Like, I didn't know he was autistic, but I would have treated him the same. It was just fun. Yeah.
Very cool.
I almost cried, too.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I don't know. That's some of my favorite stuff. Like I said, when you can, especially when you can personalize it to where you can. It's great when you can do it for a whole group of people, obviously. But like when you can make an impact on that one person and change their day or change their life. And,
correct. Yeah.
It's like it's an awesome thing. So yeah. Well, Amber, this has been super cool. I'm really so glad we did this today and get to hang out.
Yeah, anytime. Like we can get ice cream. We'll go explore other places. I'll take you to Lone Elk Park. Yeah. Like we'll drive through and look at some elk and majestic bison. Like, yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a great time. And this was but yeah, thank you for the gelato. Thank you for the laughs today, and be sure to get involved. Amber Klear with a K.com and the Happiness Enthusiast on Facebook
TikTok too.
and
I'm the Happiness Enthusiast on TikTok
and Instagram and all the other things. You're everywhere. So
yeah, I'm literally everywhere. Yeah, I'll be in your home. Invite me. I'll be in your home. I'll be everywhere. No, I'll go to strangers' houses. Like a memory just popped up in my phone too that like somebody invited me into their house and I was walking and I just went into their house and like they fed me soup. Like, she didn't speak English either. I was like, who does she think I am? Like, whatever, I got soup.
All right.
I'm going to end up on the news somehow, either from comedy or from murder. Not me murdering, but like someone accidentally murdering me.
I wonder how she tells that story. Like,
yeah, me too. Yeah. She probably thought I was homeless. Like, yeah, I went into her basement and everything. Like, I used to have this rule, like, I'll go in their house, but I won't go in the basement because that's where bad things happen. But like, that rule never lasts.
I've done this show a couple times, like a similar set. I mean, I was invited, but like I go to some people's houses and I don't know them, and I'm like, all right, well, this could either go really good or really bad. And I'm like, here we go. Let's roll the dice and see what happens. And like, so I'm like, and I've definitely gone in some creepy basements, and you're like, oh, this is it. But ultimately, all of them have been great. So it's like
good.
It's always worked out. So
good.
But yeah, I thank you, and I say we do this again real soon.
I'm excited. Yeah, let's do it. I'll see if I can get Chris to do it with me, or Kevin. Oh, God. Yeah.
There you go.
Raise it. They could do a seance in here and raise it from the dead. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again to Gaslight for letting us hang out here today. And
thanks, Rick.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. And thanks, Amber.
Mustache man, Rick. Thank you, Shane. I think you're pretty cool, too.
I think you're pretty cool. All right. Bye, everybody.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.